Hey guys, Ryan Earnhardt here from CreativeSoundLab.tv, where audio recording is an art form. We have something a little different for you today. These are actually not as they seem. This looks like a 3-position kind of overhead kind of deal. These are actually reverse overheads. This here is actually 2 overheads in one, so it's a ribbon here and a ribbon here, and it looks down like this. But these here are actually in cardioid, and they don't look down to the kit. They look away from the kit. We could set some room mics out around the room and we could get a far sound. But we can use polar patterns to our advantage here, and we can move a mic incredibly close to a drum kit. In fact, we can actually get close enough to where we're actually phase coherent with our overheads. These 2 mics are actually reinforcing the fullness of this snare drum here. This is a big advantage. You're gonna have so much balls to your drum sound that you're gonna have to take some of it out. Now, the download for today is my drum recording quick start guide. All of my 10 favorite techniques that I use to record drums. And these techniques, I've noticed that time and time again, they just work. You really can't go wrong with this stuff. You just add up the technique for overheads, the technique for close mics, you put them together and you have your drum sound. But let's get into this technique and really have a listen and also talk about how it works. Okay, so really how I set this technique up was, obviously you have your overheads or overhead. This can be in a coincident or near coincident configuration. What we have is, I just grab a guitar cable. This is really, really easy. And you just measure it out from the center of the snare. Well, there you go. So I measure to kind of the middle of the mic. I'm imagining like, okay, that's where the stuff is inside. And then I just measure over to the other middle, and then I measure to the middle of this one. And I know this is kind of nerdy to do this, right? But this just ensures that the snare is really, really full. So let's have a listen again to this same setup. And what I'm gonna do is halfway through, I'm gonna flip the polarity of these 2 mics and just listen to the overhead and these 2 mics. Halfway through, I'll flip the polarity, and you can tell what a difference and how well these are connected in their phase relationship. Okay, so here's the setup for today's demos. Warm audio WA12 on the first reversed overhead and WA12 on the second reversed overhead, so left and right. You can see that I didn't have to pad really anything. I actually did pad on the mic. This up here is kick and snare, and they're actually set to the same settings as these WA12, so I kind of have like 4 of the same channel going on here. But let's take a listen to just the reverse overheads going through these preamps, just the combination that this kind of sound gets me here with the mics with these preamps. Okay, so I thought this was really cool. I'm pretty excited about it. If you can't tell, I just figured it out like 10 minutes ago, and I'm like, man, I gotta make a video on this. Don't forget, if you want that guide on the Quick Start Guide for drum recording, basically my 10 best techniques that I use over and over again, and it really just makes a lot of the headache, it takes a lot of the headache out of drum recording. So Let me know what you thought of this episode. Comment below. I'd love to see your questions and your thoughts on something like this technique. I'll talk to you soon.